Welcome back to video number 16. This is a continuation from the last video, number 15. We are playing, in the last video we were playing we had two tournaments open, and we were playing two tables of 15 no limit zone poker. And then I ended the video and said I wasn't going to start until I went deep in one of the tournaments, or I would restart it just playing cash games. And then I decided that playing tournaments might be fun and interesting and a little bit different. So I actually tried starting a video with the tournaments in it, and then Bovada crashed a little bit into it. And so then I stopped the recording and then waited a little bit, and then just started up again now, obviously. So I ended up busting the $5 tournament, and then I quit out of one of the 50 no limit tables. In that table, I think we cashed out up like one buy-in, and then this table we are in for 50, so we're up like $4 at the moment. And then this tournament is the $15 tournament we were in last time. I believe registration is still open. Yes, we have, looks like 25 minutes or so left of registration open. First place, it looks like the guarantee hasn't been met yet. What am I doing? I'm just gonna jam. Both these players are really short, so I'm just gonna jam. Don't mind getting it in. Don't mind picking up the blinds and annies. Our hand is plenty good in pocket eights. We are called. Ace 9, he does flop an ace, so we're gonna need an 8. And we don't get there. So yeah, so okay, it looks like it updated. We did meet the guarantee. First place is right now $666. But registration will be open for another 20 minutes or so. So that's this tournament. We're at one zone. We just lost the $5 tournament. We got pretty short, and we're less than 10 big blinds and went all in from the button with ace 3, and we're called by pocket eights in the big blind or small blind, doesn't really matter, and we did not improve. So yeah, in the last video our analysis was very poor given that we were 4 tabling. I think that had to do with it. And also we have not filmed any tournaments, so this is kind of a new thing for us, and it might be interesting. I mean, I haven't played tournaments in probably 3 months. This is the first or the second. I mean, the two that I started in the last video are the first two I've played in probably 3 months, so this could be interesting. I don't know how well I will be able to talk about it. Hopefully well enough. We do have pocket aces on this left table. He's really deep, so I'm going to 3-bet over here, a little bit more than 3x. He did open it to 4x, which is a little bit larger than normal, and he just jams. We will gladly be calling. Is this video recording? Hope this video is recording. Just dodging kings on the river, and we do. Very nice. It's kind of a cooler, pretty much a setup. He had pocket kings. Don't think he is ever finding a fold there. I don't think I'd ever be finding a fold there. I might not just ship it over the 3-bet, but I don't think you can fault him for going with pocket kings, or anyone going with pocket kings pre-flop at these stakes. I'm going to 3x the king 8. So more interestingly, this tournament, we're still above average, which is good. We had one, it was like a 3-way pot. We had opened like from under the gun where we got all our chips. So we had opened under the gun with ace king, and we're called twice, once by the button and once by the big blind. Interesting. We opened pre-flop from the small blind. We're called. He is raising us on this flop. It's pretty dry flop. I think I'm just gonna fall. If the raise is pretty small, I guess we're gonna call. 9, I would assume, is a good card for us, being that it makes it less likely for him to have a 9. It was a pretty small raise by him on the flop. But he does bet more than half pot on the turn. What could he... He could have some sort of draw. We could have the best hand. We could be beat. I guess we're making a decision on the river. Depending on his bet size, I feel like I'm going to be calling this river. But then again, he might be feeling like I'm calling this river, so we'll have to decide. And I know we don't have time making. He bets small, so I feel like we're getting. This is a very likely value bet, but I feel like I am going to call. And we do have the best hand. Cool. Sweet. So I guess we could talk about that hand. I mean, we opened pre-flop and he just flatted behind us, or in the big blind. We were in the small blind. Flop came 8-9-4, pretty dry-ish flop. And we continued for the same size lead as pre-flop at 150, roughly half pot. And he made it 350, which is a less than 3x raise. I mean, I think the raise size is fine, regardless of what he has. I would assume if he's bluffing, he'd make it larger, which would... But I think given... just going to fold the 8-10 as well as the queen 4 on the right table. I think we had fine odds to call. It was 2 to win, I think, 9 after he raised. Or there was 9 in the pot. And we did have second pair, second kicker. I think we had a backdoor flush draw. And then definitely on the turn, so I think calling the flop was fine. The turn paired the 9, which made it less likely for him to have a 9, and he continued. I think the turn could be... Well, no, I think calling the turn was fine, but his turn bet was much more believable than his flop raise, I think, given that he did bet rather large. Or at least my thought was I was starting to believe him on the turn, even though the 9 made it less likely for him to have a 9. And also, I don't necessarily think he's betting a 9 if he has a 9 that often, given that his hand improved and he wants to hide the strength of his hand. So I felt like he still had a lot of draws in his range, such as like random straight draws. I don't think he would just be flatting with pocket pairs bigger than 9s, like 10s, jacks, queens, kings, but that are aces, and that is a possibility. So we decided to make a decision on the river. The river came a 4, making 4s less likely for him as well, and he bet small, which made me believe he was value betting. But we did have great odds to call, as we did, and he had ace 7. I guess we are going to 3x ace queen here from under the gun. So I think that hand is fine. Yeah. Sure. So we opened this ace queen from under the gun. Wait, okay, let's focus on this one first. I will continuing here. So we open under the gun, we're called by the big blind, flop queen high, nothing to talk about because we win with the c-bet. So over here, he jams for, looks like, 6 big blinds. We have ace 6 suited. I think we might be calling here. And it is 3,000 to 1. I think we're gonna call, given... I guess we have a time... Oof, we have a time make. We can actually think about this one. I think this is pretty marginal, given that he's not jamming. Like, if it was from the button, I'm snap calling. Cutoff, more likely to call. Being that it is from this position... Like, maybe I shouldn't even be tanking. Like, I feel like this should be like a pretty straightforward one way or the other. 3,000, we'd be left with 10,000. I think I'm just gonna fold, actually. I think calling. I definitely thought I was going to be calling right away, but the more I think about it, I'd rather keep the 3,000 chips and stay above 20 big blinds rather than being. I think that was pretty marginal. I think that was pretty close, and I think calling probably would have been fine, and I think folding was fine given that we are keeping our roughly average stack. So I think folding there was actually fine. But initially I thought I was going to be calling once it folded to us. I have no idea what time I started this video. I think this will just be a bonus. This will be like a bonus video. Oh crap, I clicked call on accident. Given that we're playing tournaments and that's not really part of this series. So we just misclick called over here. The blinds both. Well, big blind check, small blind called. I will start with a bet. We could definitely have the best hand. Big blind does call. These players are both short. We've been in this position before. I'm just going to jam. Ace-8 is plenty good to go with for whatever these 6 big blind stacks are, and I'm plenty fine winning the blinds and antes. It looks like we're just checking back over here, and he has a 2, so that's pretty sad. I guess we could have continued on the turn. But I think that, I mean, it's pretty sad when he turns over the bottom pair with no kicker. But I think given that we just limped pre-flop and he called our flop bet, I think it's okay to just give up with like nothing really invested. Is that okay? I don't think that's necessarily okay, but versus this pot bet, I'm just gonna fold. And he doesn't even, I mean, he has, I think he had like 50 big blinds behind. Not that our set is coming that often. I'm just going to min raise this ace jack here. I think I'm definitely going with it versus the button. And potentially if he jams, I'm probably still going with it. This player is a short stack, so I think okay, we do get jammed on from the big blind, cold. 3-bet from the big blind. It's weird when he just jams because I would like to think that he's never doing that with like aces or king, like he's missing so much value by just jamming. And I think in at least all the times I can remember where I most likely would often find a call there, he ends up with like jacks or queens, which some people panic with those types of hands. So I think that is definitely marginal. I don't think calling would necessarily be bad there. I mean, maybe it is, maybe it's not, with no information on the player. But yeah, I just folded the tens. I mean, we only had $1.50 invested. I mean, if it was like he opened and we 3-bet and then he jammed over the top for whatever he had, I think we're calling for sure. If we had like maybe like $4 or $5 invested. But given that we just opened, I think it's fine. It's pretty marginal though. Could go either way. Okay, so let's get an update. I guess we kind of do have an update here. But I think registration will be close to being over. Ten more minutes. So I think when I started this, I think there was like 25 minutes left away with registration. So I guess we can go by that for time. First price is up to $700 now. $719. 27 paid. I think that's the same as it was before. We're above average. There's currently 89 people left, which is all good news. So yeah, maybe I'll let this go for like another 20 minutes. It'll be like a 40-minute video. assuming, I mean, if we bust the tournament, I might end the video and then restart with just 2 zone games. Or I guess I could just pull up a zone game, not that it matters either way. But if we're still in the tournament at maybe 7:15, I'll end this video and start another one. So yeah, I guess we can leave this open too, but I'll just put it behind everything. Or I can just leave it here. Okay, did we c-bet this? We did not. We checked back this flop. Interesting. And then he leads into us. Pot. I guess we're just folding. I think that's fine. I was going to fold anyways. Just going to fold the 10 jack. So yeah, I can't believe, I'm surprised we didn't, I guess we weren't really paying attention, but I would have liked to have c-bet the flop on the queen, queen 4 or whatever it was. I think that's a good board to c-bet. 3-bet or just call over. I think I'm probably just going to be calling versus this under the gun min raise. Okay, maybe just folding. We are on the button. I don't really see a point in 4-betting with no history. I think I'm just going to fold. Okay, so we're on break over here. So I guess what we'll do is we'll pull up another zone poker game. Wait, but how do I... Oops. Okay. Alright, so I'll put the 2 zone tables on the bottom. And then the tournament on the top. See if we can make this look good. Interesting. We're just going to be folding on the left table. Guess we can try just taking a stab min betting on this right table. The small blind limped, or just completed from the small blind. Okay, so we don't really need that. Here's the table, so let's try to pull up the lobby in the background. Would that be nice? I don't know if you can even see it. I guess if we pull it off to the side, we can leave it where it's like, so the currently amount of players left and then the average. Can you see them both? Yes, there's 87 players. That's the average stack. Cool. I guess we're just going to call. We don't have time. And we're on break. So I think we're just going to, we're calling, oh my god, they're both really short. This player's really short. But I think if we raise this guy's good, I think they're both going, I think we're just going to start with a call here. It's a pretty good flop for us. And I'd be darned to think that we'll be folding this hand. That's like half pot. Just gonna start with a call here. Let him check. He's probably gonna be jamming. He only has pot behind. I don't think I'm folding. As I snap call. And the fee in. So I mean, we could have. I think that's come up a couple times where it's a spot like that on the flop where we could have raised that flop, and I think raising that flop is fine, but it just kind of narrows his range more than we need to. Like we know we're basically going with the hand. Like I said, I'd be surprised if we end up folding this hand in any way. But when we raise the flop, basically it makes it easy for him to fold. I mean, he might still be just jamming that ace jack, like. I don't know, he seemed to be happy to go with it as it was, but we give him the ability to continue with his bluffs. And it would suck if like a heart came on the turn, but, or an ace. But yeah, it worked out for us there. And I think I like that better than jamming. In the last, or I think it was 2 videos ago, I know we jammed with, I think, queens versus like an under the gun limp, and then he called our raise and then led into us, and we just jammed, and he ended up folding. And I mentioned that it felt kind of like we were just like giving our stack to when he was slow playing hands better than us, and then like it just takes away all of his bluffing range, which obviously, I mean, he had a bluff or he had a weaker pair that he might still be continuing on turn or whatever. Like this player had exactly pot left behind, so it was like it was so easy for him to continue bluffing. I don't know if it's so easy. Okay, maybe I should just stop while I'm ahead. But yeah, I think that makes sense. Like we know we're going with a hand, but we can just call. We don't have to raise because we can allow him to keep all of his bluffs in. Looks like we're just flatting here from the small blind with the ace queen versus the under the gun open. If it was a later position opening, I would have been 3-betting. I think I'll just quick fold this king 5, but I think we're just basically giving up now. I mean, we could continue, but I think continuing there would have been fine, calling at least once on the flop. I would just be folding now versus... Yeah, that's fine. Looks like the tournament's about to start up. Again, resume. I think I'm just going to lead out here. We are min raise. This was limped pre-flop. And I'm not folding yet. 6 on the turn. The reason I didn't want to check, I just wanted to start getting value because I felt like when it's a limped pot and given this kind of a dry flop in the ace 5-6 that it would have been, it just would have checked through a lot. Or it's a spot where I don't really want to be check raising. I think I'm going to call again here. I mean, min raise is so weak though. Jack on the river is somewhat interesting. Going to raise the ace 5 suited on the right table. And he bets pot. Ugh. I really want to call, but I think I'm actually going to fold in this situation. It doesn't show. So I guess that could have been a bluff, like a missed flush draw, or some sort of missed straight draw. But I feel like if he's capable of does that make sense? If he's capable of bluffing the river by betting pot, or more than pot, or whatever it was, a really big bet, then he's capable of, or that if he's gonna be, that he'd be more aggressive with his draws too. Before that, like he wouldn't just be min raising the flop, and he wouldn't be leading for less than half pot on the turn. Or betting on the turn less than half pot. But then again, why would he be just betting pot on the river, like for value? Like I guess he is capable of maybe repping like a bluff or thinking that I'm calling whatever he bets. Or it could have been simply like he had something like ace jack that he limped. I mean, that could be limping pre-flop. And like thought he had the best hand, that's why he was betting and min raising, but then once he got the jack on the river, he knew he was for sure the best hand in bet pot. I don't know. I think that's a fine fold, but I think we could have been bluffed, but I'm okay with folding there. And I'm okay with being bluffed there. So we are still above average, but we do have just under 20 big blinds. So that's kind of interesting. I think we'll have to, I think we're going to set our line around like maybe 15 big blinds, where when we get to 15 big blinds or below 15 big blinds, that's when we're going to start either shoving or folding. Before that, we can mess around with maybe some min raises or calling from the blinds or button. But I think we'll draw the line at, or at least mentally right now, what I'm going to do is draw the line at like 15 big blinds. Which, I mean, is only like, I mean, average is like 18 or something. So maybe I think that's fine. So around 15 big blinds is when we're going to start, just be push folding. Going to open this Jack-7 from the button. Fold the Ace-6. Yeah, that's fine, I think. Wasn't really paying attention. I think we were in like early position, so that's fine. Well, I don't think I've mentioned this note in this video. I think I did in the one that crashed. But, do I read? Okay. So, yeah, I took a note that he 3x raised preflop from early position, and then c-bet pot, and I'm going to call from the small blind, 9-7 suited. He doesn't have that much behind, but whatever. He 3x from early position, then bet, I guess we're just folding now. Being from the small blind. He c-bet pot, and then folded to a 3.5x shove on a 4-5-6 rainbow flop. So we were actually in that hand. He opened from, I think, under the gun +1 for 3x. We had pocket 7s and flatted. Flop was 4-5-6 rainbow. We had he had a huge stack. He c-bet for pot. I think it was like 1,300, and we had around 4,000. And jammed over his c-bet, and he folded. And to be honest, ever since, okay, we're not at the same table anymore, but ever since that note, ever since I took that note, he had been opening a lot, 3x, and then once I played that hand with him, not that I'm sure it was based on the hands he was playing, or was getting, but I didn't see any more 3x opens or anything of note. Or I didn't even see anything from him really, so I wasn't paying that much attention to what was going on in the tournament, but I didn't notice anything else coming from him. Gonna raise up this pocket 10s here from the big blind. $2 seems okay. We do have an overpair on the flop. I think I will be c-betting like a little bit more than half pot, like 350, given that it is three-handed and we are out of position. I think we have the best hand. Maybe not. So this is where it kind of sucks when you don't have information on players. I'm going to just fold, I think. I mean, I don't know what he would be comfortable raising that large with. I'm just going to min raise the pocket 7s over here. But like it's easy to, or I've noticed with myself, it's easy to kind of trick myself into thinking like I made a big raise pre-flop and then it's a low flop, or basically a flop that doesn't connect with a big ace, like there's no ace, king, or queen. I will be calling this shove. 4,000 to win 8,000. Yeah, we're getting better than, and we haven't dominated. Okay. So dodging 5s. And we hold. So it's easy to convince myself like the flop doesn't connect with the big ace, so I can convince myself that he's thinking that I didn't hit the flop, like so that he's bluffing. But I just don't necessarily think that's the case. Like especially at the stakes, no history, And especially in that case, because he made it so big. Like, what is he comfortable doing that with? Like, I don't think he's just firing 16 over a $3 bet with complete air. But then again, we still could. We could have had the best hand still. Like, maybe he had like a 9 and didn't want to see any overcards or something. But if that's the case, then we'll just wait till we have aces or kings, and then, or a flop set or something, and then we'll just gladly take his money at that time. I think it's okay to fold 10 there. I think it possibly. I mean, he did have. It would have been. He was really deep stack too, so I think that's perfectly fine. Avoiding a really tough situation later on. I'm just gonna try min raising this ace 4 suited. It's 707. Can it be the 3 of hearts behind? No. Okay, that's fine. Start with the c-bet here. We do. Oh, I did just min raise pre-flop. Not that that matters, but we do flop a gut shot and backdoor flush draw. We do still have ace high. He does min raise us. Check min raise. I'm going to call, given how great of odds we are getting. And I hope he bets something less than half pot, or checks. He does bet more than half pot. I think I'm just folding. That's fine. When I let it to my like that without like panicking, I'm okay with just folding. Well, yeah, I think that's fine. I think we're getting fine of odds. Does that make sense? Fine of odds on the odds we are getting on the flop is fine to continue when he raises. And then on the turn when he continues, I think it's just fine to fold. Just gonna fold this 9-jack in the big blind. Discipline fold here versus the under the gun open. So we're right at 20 big blinds again. The blinds just went up to 500, 1,000. Okay, I'm just folding over here. I think I'm just going to be limping here. I could see raising, but like given that these players are both around average or above, assuming that they're not super aggressive, like they're in a position where they're fine with just like they're not sure where they're gonna like I would assume they're jamming, but like with this player, so when I call here, I think that we're gonna see a flop a very high percentage of the time. This is a spot I don't often. I'm just gonna call. I was gonna say this is a spot where I don't often. I'm never that happy without a read. To just get it in with let's start with the c-bet up here on this flop, or not a c-bet, sorry, but I'm gonna call now given that we flop 2 pair gladly. No club, good. So in that case he might have folded if I were to jam, but I was gonna say I'm not that often like super happy with no reads or anything getting it in with ace king pre-flop, but that was a situation where I initially was going to, or thought that it would have been fine. I guess we're just folding now. I mean, the flush, I guess we can think about it, but, yeah, no, we're just gonna fold. Queen high. Can we raise? Is he folding to a raise? He check called the flop. Like, is this like the... Could this be a great hero call? Was this player... Is he from the big blind or did he limp? God, I need to pay attention more. I'm just gonna fold, but I think that we could be getting potentially bluffed here, given the run out. He doesn't show, which is a good sign. But yeah, that could have easily been like a weak ace or something, or some sort of pair. Just folding. What were we talking about before that? There was another interesting hand somewhere. Opening the ace 4. I will open the ace 7. Oh, where I was happy to go with that pre-flop with the ace king. I think that in that situation, I mean, I think that would have been fine to re-raise. But given that we do have position, I just personally, I hate just getting it in with ace king pre-flop. But when, oh my god, okay. When someone's short like that, though, I am more often than not perfectly fine with getting it in. So here's a spot where I think I'm just going to call, simply because I don't think he's going to be folding. Maybe that's okay, but... And now I'm checking, like, maybe this hand was played, maybe I, like, should I just be happy getting it in on the flop? Like, he only has $9 behind. Can I just fold? How bad is that? No time bank? I think I'm just folding. That's gross. I think that's misplayed for sure. It's very contradictory too, because I know whenever people have min-raised me, I've always said that that's weak too. Like, if he's check, I mean, I guess it's different when we check min-raises versus when he. That's, I guess, the only way would happen. Just gonna fold king jack early from early position, as well as this king 8. So that's a spot where I didn't think, given that he was shorter, I didn't think me coming back over the top on the flop was really going to accomplish anything as far as getting, like, made hands to fold. So I guess the dilemma with that is, am I okay just getting it in and potentially just flipping on the flop? Which I guess wouldn't be bad, for sure, not bad. So I think maybe I should have just gone with it on the flop there. But then after the turn comes a blank, and we check again. I guess as played, I think folding that turn might be okay. No, I don't. I think that was badly misplayed. I think we should just be potentially happy just getting it in on the flop, given that we have the ace and the nut flush draw. I think there was a backdoor straight draw. I think that hand was butchered. And maybe I was thrown off by his min raise, I'm not sure. But I think that was a badly played hand. I'm not even sure what the best thing to do would have been. Try min raise from early position. King, queen. Oops. I think in theory you're supposed to raise more from earlier position. Like, make your raise amount more from earlier position, because you're trying to get more people to fold, and then be raising less from later position, because you need less people to fold. And I do like the exact opposite. I like raise more from later position and less from earlier position. And I guess that is just, I'm gonna try opening this. I guess that's just more of a comfort thing. Like, if this wasn't anonymous, then I think that would potentially be exploitable. For sure, like, knowing that I'm, like, min-raising my small pocket pairs and, like, random weaker aces and kings from under the gun. But it's definitely just more of a comfort thing where if it does get 3-bet, I'm just playing 5-7, that's fine. I'm more comfortable just min-raising and risking less. for potential like 3-bets and whatnot, rather than opening like to 3.5 or something, 3.5x that is, or 3x. 3x would be fine, but never mind. I'm just folding the queen 7, folding king 8. I will open this queen 10. And this looks like it's updated. There's 62 players left. Registration is closed, correct? There are currently 62 players. 27 are paid, or will be paid. And average is 18,000, so we are just below average. And I guess we are just checking back now. Full house. Playing the board. He bets a lot. Like, is it bad to fold here? I think I want to fold. I'm gonna call, I think. Damn it. I wanted to fold, but I just thought that there was a lot. I mean, obviously we're playing for a chop at best. I'm just gonna check these nines. 2 overs and being four-handed. So I guess we could have folded that river. I just felt I should have just gone with my gut instinct, but as played, I don't think we can. It's like, how can we put them on only pocket pairs bigger than 4s or bigger than 5s? So whatever. I think I'm just folding now. We do have a gut shot, but there are 3 clubs. We're not in that hand anymore. Interesting with a short stack. I think he timed out, or maybe we are lagging. I'm gonna 3-bet this say 7 on this left table. He does call. Start with a c-bet on the king jack 2 board with 2 diamonds, and we get it done. So yeah, it looks like we're getting close to 720. So I'm just trying to think of what is the best way to do this, whether I just restart with these 3 tables, or maybe I will wait until we get near the money. Looks like we're falling quickly below average. So this might get interesting soon. I guess we can just let it go for a little bit longer. I feel like we're going to be forced to be doing stuff in this tournament, so I guess we'll just let it go for at least like another 10 minutes. And then decide if we can build up a stack a little bit, then wait till we get close to the... We'll end the video and then start back up when we get closer to the money. Or we can just end restart. But I feel like there's going to be action soon, so I will leave it there. I will not. I will just keep playing. Or keep recording, I should say. Okay, just going to fold the ace-3 suited. As hard as that may be. Just folding the 2-5. I was just thinking, I don't know how fast you earn poker points. I don't even have that many. But could be interesting if we just like only play cash games throughout the series and then just use whatever poker points we earn as like a bonus tournaments or something. But for some reason, I feel like that the rate that you earn points and then how much the points are worth for tournament entries is not good. That we wouldn't earn that many. Like, I don't know how much 3,000 points would get us. Like maybe like a $5 tournament or something. I don't know. I haven't looked in a long time. Restarting in no. I feel like this is just going to automatic force me to restart. I don't know how to stop that. I'm not familiar with Windows, but I'm pretty sure this has happened before where it just automatically restarts at whatever that time it said. I'm going to start by betting here on this left table. I just hate the idea of check calling with our weak 8. I don't want it to check through, and then like a 10 or jack or queen or king or ace come, and then I'm like, what do I do now? So I think just betting is fine, especially being a limp pot. What was I going to do? How do I stop that thing? What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? 3 important issues. Alright, well I think, okay, that was 15 minutes. We'll be done with this video by then, so we still won't ruin this video. Guess we're folding the 2-3. We are now below 15 big blinds, so it looks like we're getting right at that point where we're going to be push folding. We're down to 47 players too. So we're like halfway to the money. I mean, they chopped the field in half and we're at the money. The remaining field, that is. I will open this. He's really short. Maybe I'll try min raising. I guess I can find a fold. I just don't want to limp because I don't want it to be too weak. I don't want to raise too big where I'm committed. Not that 150 was too big. And I didn't want to limp. I don't know. Min raise I think is fine versus that short stack. Just going to fold the ace-8 from middle position. Gladly call with the pocket 5s from the small blind. Interestingly, at king 9, I think we will be jamming for sure if it's folded to us, which I hope is the case. And we're back with our friend. But I think he's been, as I mentioned, ever since that, not that he was playing loose before, but ever since I started noticing him, he's been playing very tight from what I have noticed. And he likes to bet big. So I think jamming here is fine, given that is perfectly fine, given that we have just over 10 big blinds. I guess we're just checking. Gonna try min raising this jack queen. As I mentioned before, the whole raising smaller in earlier position. I do not want to get tangled up on another one of those boards the same as last time. I guess we're just checking. And it kind of sucks, but it's too easy for, I don't think we're getting folds that often. And here's another spot. I think I'm just gonna fold this one though. Maybe that's bad. Maybe I'm a little rusty with my whole push fold, but given that we have close to 15 big blinds, I think it's okay to let that go. If we were like on the button, I'd be jamming. Or a small blind, and it's folded to us. Or in the big blind and the small blind jams or something like that. But I think we can wait given our stack. Just gonna call with the 8s from the big blind here. Seemingly good flop, but we'll start with the check. He bets very small. Should we try raising or should we just call? So just a call, I think. A seemingly good turn card to go with the seemingly good flop. Start with a check though. I'd be more inclined to try raising this turn to figure out where we are at and potentially for value, as I've decided to do. If he jams or something like that, I think we're just folding. As he does raise, I think we're just folding. He did raise from under the gun, so that easily could be a larger pocket pair or something of that nature. Maybe just calling would be better. Like we're not really getting value from hands by raising. It's more just figuring out where we're at. So maybe just calling with that eights would have been better, and then check calling rivers, assuming he doesn't like jam rivers. Oh, and we just jam this ace queen over here. I think that's fine. We're still relatively short. We do get called from the small blind with king 9. We're dodging kings and 9s and clubs, and we do not dodge the club, but we are still in the tournament. Dangerously low though. Less than 10 big blinds with ace 10. I think we will be jamming if folded too. And it's not as raised. I mean, we're for sure not getting a fold, and it's versus an under the gun open range, so I think we're folding and hoping to pick up a hand in the next hand or somewhere in the blinds is best. We're just never getting a fold when we jam here with ace 10, and I don't think ace 10 is doing that well against his huge open from under the gun. That 8's hand bugs me though. For some reason I can't let that one go. I just don't think there's that much we're getting value from when we did raise. But maybe raising for like protection is fine there. Maybe it's fine. Maybe it's a fine play. Excuse me. Just folding the queen 9, folding the 10-6. Just min raise with the 6s. Folding to the under the gun open. So 43 left, 27 make the money. We are in the big blind though. This is in a iffy hand, and we will most likely be all in. So we min raise under the gun. We're called twice. I think we're just gonna fold here as well. Are we just like getting beat up? Are we playing too passively? I think that's fine. Is it fine? That could have been like a flush draw of some sort. Easily, some sort of semi-bluff. And our friend raises 3x. As bad as this may seem, I think sorry. Okay. Well, now that we're getting great odds, maybe we're just going with it here. Like, I don't think we're getting folds from him ever. But given that here's basically some dead money in the pot. Jack queen's never good. just gonna call with the nines. I guess we can time bank over here. So I was gonna say, even if it just folded to me, I think I was gonna fold, as bad as that might sound. I think we're just getting it. Oops, dang it, what did I do? What did I click? I'm gonna start by calling this ace on the turn, not the best. Okay, and he folds. So we are live. We need a jack or a queen. And we don't get one. We're still in the tournament though. Still in the tournament though. So I wasn't expecting him to be folding. Okay, well it looks like well we're going now. So I wish we're punished. We get the good hand. I'm just gonna fold the jack nine. Suited from the button. Try min raising the ace five on the right table. We're definitely going with it here with the ace king. And then I think after this hand, win or lose, I'm going to end this video and then start another one. Okay, cool. Ace five, why did I check the flop? Okay, I'm betting now, 1 check 2. 3 versus king, we do ace 2. Okay, so now we have, I guess, a tiny, not really, we don't really have breathing room, but I'm gonna see about this king queen over here. Just checking back, ace high, hope we're good, which we are obviously crushed. So I'm gonna end the video here because I want to be able to save it before this little restart happens, and I'll try to figure out how to end it right away. We do not really have any breathing room at all here. I guess we'll wait because we'll be jamming this if folded too. Oops, did I click something? No. So yeah, but I want to end this video and save it before this little restart, and I guess I can Google how to end it. I think I'm just going to fold versus this jam. Like maybe that's bad, but I'm just gonna fold. Okay, okay, I said, okay, I'm gonna end the video here. I folded there, and I will try to figure out how to end the restart and then start the video back up. Thank you.